recording. It starts right here. My bad. What was I gonna say? So yeah, this is a really clean way to display variables when you're going through and actually doing variable stuff. If you want to display any kind of variable, any kind of string, any kind of number, this is a good place to do it. Now we're gonna go into fprintf. It's spelled like that. Fprintf is really, it's got a lot of modifiers, it's got a lot of things attached to it. And its purpose is so you can display stuff in different notations, you can format stuff, you can do a lot of stuff like that. I think a good way to, how do you start fprintf? How do you want to start it? Yeah, I think we should do that. So, works. Yeah, and it does that.
So you also have to put a new
Line, yeah.
character at the very end, because fprintf will just print the word and then it'll prompt you to enter it right after.
So, do you see how there's like a, you see my cursor's right there? Let's scroll a bit. You see my cursor was right there? That's where my cursor used to be? That's because you need a new line character. We're going to get into escape characters really quickly when we go into fprintf right now. So, your new line characters are, or your escape characters are backslash, that's how you start them, backslash n, that's new line. Okay? What else do you have? Backslash t is tab. What other important ones do you want? Oh, if you want to do, what is like backslash, like, what is it? 260, I think? That's the degree sign.
So what symbol is that before the backslash?
Percent. Oh, this is how you comment. That's a good point.
Okay.
This is a comment. This doesn't, when the compiler gets to it, it doesn't run this code. So I can type anything I want, and it's fine. So this is really useful for documenting stuff. So when you start writing functions, and you're writing scripts and stuff like that, document. Put your name, stuff like that, and then also a brief description of what's going on. Comments to yourself so that when you come back a year later, you're like, I know what this code does. Does that make sense?
What does fprintf do?
fprintf prints stuff. Right. It's really complex because it does a ton of stuff. It does a lot of like modifiers, variables, stuff like that. I'll give you a brief intro, and I think we'll do more of it as we go because it's a whole can of worms.
So the reason you wouldn't want to use disp is it only does strings. So what if you want to disp a number? You can try it. I don't think it'll work.
It should.
Disp 5.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, like it only prints a string. Yeah. Well, actually, if you do x equals 5, you disp x, that'll work. You can't do disp. It does. Yeah. So there you go. But it prints it out as a I mean, that's not gonna affect you, but it prints it out as a string, which that's what it's supposed to do. But yeah, don't worry about it. What we could do is, let's do this. Let's set a temperature equal to 300. Okay, 300 degrees Kelvin. So we're gonna try to print out 300 degrees Kelvin. So we could say fprintf, and you can't do this with display. You say the temperature is, and you do comma t. Do you see that? Can everyone see that? Did you modify after that? No, you should be good. Forgot an escape character, but isn't that how you modify?
To put like parentheses.
Oh yeah, parentheses f. Or you can do parentheses f. There you go.
So I is the
Yeah.
integer.
Wait. That's what I forgot. This is the modifier. That I right there. I think you could throw a new line over here. See if this works.
Yeah.
Like that. There you go. And that's that new line character. Do you see that? It just popped it down a line. I could do like tons of new lines, and it would kick me down quite a bit of spaces. Does that make sense? But what I'm doing here, get rid of these, is this %i means that I'm basically, it says I'm going to put an integer right here. So I could do a bunch of these. I could do %f, %i again, like 3 things. I can put some spaces in between, like that. I actually need to define some more before I do that. But what I'm saying, I need to define some more variables because I just don't have enough variables right now. But let's say I had an integer, a float, and another integer, and I wanted to display 3 things. Then I could put that first one here, second one here, third one here, and it would put those in those spots. That's really useful when you want to display this like long, complex thing, and put in different variables and you don't want to actually have to type out the variables, this is how you want to do it. This is called formatting a string. You guys might have heard that in other languages. Anybody? Yeah. So this is how you put in. You can also put other strings into here. So if I had another, like hello world, I can just put hello world where one of those is. I think it's %s. Correct me if I'm wrong. %s? Yeah. And then also %i is integer, %f is floating point. So if actually, you know what I do? So I did 300, right? Yeah. Do you see that? So the first time, if I go back to it, if I do like this, I'm also in format long, so that's why it shows up like this. But the first time I did it as %f. So I said I want to print out a floating point number. Put a floating point number right here. So it goes through and it says, okay, t has value of 300, and then it puts 300 here, but it goes, oh, he wants a floating point. So then it just throws on all these decimals. If it's in format short, it's going to be like 3 or 4 decimals or 2 decimals or something like that. Format long does it this way. Then I come here and I say I want an integer. So then an integer is a round number, remember whole number. So then it goes and just truncates it, and there's no decimal points. Now a question is, let's say we define, let me clear all that. Let's say e equals 500.1. Okay? And this is format long scientific notation and compact and all that. Let's say I have it like this, and now I do f(f). This is a number, and then I do %i, and then I put an a. What do you think is going to happen? Or actually, yeah. So what you know what I can do actually is before this I can let me Control X this. So a is a double or a floating point. You can say double and floating points are kind of the same thing for us. A is a double. So if I go back and I try this again, I'm saying give me an integer, but a is a floating point. If I enter, it gives me that. Forgot my new line. Come on. Like that. Do you see I still printed out a float? Everyone see that? Yeah. So it'll look for the first number, and when it sees that it's not an integer, it'll still print it as a float. It's a weird thing that Matlab does. How do I go back to like that? Still giving it to me. Why is it still giving it to me scientific?
That's a good question. It's been giving me that for a while now.
How is it? Now we're giving me scientific. Format doesn't affect FFF? Well, what you could do is you can do format I 0.0 like that, or 0.1, right? So that'd be 1 decimal place. That's it. That? I don't think that's right. Oh, I guess you're right. Okay, there you go. So what you're doing here is you're specifying the number of decimal points. This is the amount of indentation, and this is the number of decimal points. So if I change this to 0.3, you'll get 23 decimal places, that kind of stuff. Be careful when you do that, because you do lose your decimal points. And I mean, if I did 0.1, you wouldn't know that there's a 1 way out here. Does that make sense? Everyone good so far? Okay. Wait 1 second, pull this up.
So if it's 0.9, then it will move up into 5.1.
Say that again?
So for example, if you assign the variable to be 5.9 or something instead of 5.1, does it move up or does it just truncate it? Or we don't know.
It does not round. It truncates. It truncates. It always truncates. What it's doing is it just goes and it goes, okay, well, this number has 10 different spots. It wants to display 4, so it just cuts off the 4. And it just displays you this. Does that make sense? You're just specifying how much of an accuracy you want. So I could technically display pi with like 100 decimal points of accuracy. And it's not going to round at that 100 point. It's just going to give you 100 decimal places of accuracy. It's still stored in here with whatever computer precision it is, like whatever hundreds of digits it can do. But in terms of showing you, it's just showing you this thing. You're not asking it to round. You're not doing anything like that. You're just saying, give me the first 5. And so it just gives you the first 5. That good with everybody? Okay. So I think we can just call f(f) here and just move on, because there's a lot of formatting stuff that goes along with this. Ton of formatting stuff. Maybe let me see if I have any other quick formatting stuff I can teach you guys.
Yeah, and again, this is all like online, so I can just Google FNF.
There's a whole.
That parenthesis or percentage 0.3f thing, that's like a big thing in itself.
So if I do F for an F, go to MathWorks. This is how you want to. If you want to learn outside of this class, this is the best way to do it. Go here, and they have all your. Go on. They have all your documentation on here. So and they go F for an F, and I mean some of this looks really cryptic to you, and it looks cryptic to me too. I just selected. Okay. But F for an F will tell you a lot, or this will tell you a lot of things about F for an F. There's also a help function, but if you go through it, like you see, here's a decimal, and so it'll give you that. So you can put in a rounded number here. We'll cover rounding and stuff like that. We'll cover arrays, but you see all this stuff right here. Like this is all stuff that you could do inside of F for an F, and it all just changes the way you display stuff. For our class, I doubt we're gonna have to deal with like, oh, we want to display this to 3 decimals of accuracy. We're just gonna do stuff with numbers and just get answers. That's what we want to do. We're not really here to make it look pretty, but in the future, if you do want to make it look pretty, go ahead and be my guest. I just don't like messing with F for an F. It's just, I think we can attest it's a pain.
Put it F for an F and then do right click it to show them help function. You can get a faster way.
This way.
Yeah, help.
There it is.
Yeah. So if you ever don't really understand what a function is and you want to learn more about it, you can just right click it and click that, and it'll give you some more description about the function.
This is also, I don't even think this is truncated. I think this is the exact documentation from the MathWorks file.
Yeah, it's just like a quicker way.
There's a toolbar right here.
Yeah, there's also a help toolbar.
Search.
There? Oh. I've never seen that before. There you go. Good call. There's a toolbar where you can search stuff. Yeah, but this is, I mean, usually the only time I encounter it is like if I'm going through someone else's code and I'm like, what is this function? I just go ahead and right click, help on selection. Or function hints is another one that doesn't help too much. But like, that's helpful when you're like this, and it'll give you these. This is helpful when you write something and you're like, I don't remember how many parameters I asked for, or what I asked for, that kind of stuff. Go ahead and click that, and it'll give you this little box. Sound good? Okay, everyone good so far? Okay, now we're gonna get into vectors and arrays. What's everyone's majors, really quick? Engineering, civil, math. Anything besides engineering or math? Physics? Anything else? Okay, so I feel like we all know what vectors are. That's a safe assumption. No business majors here. That was a joke. Whatever. So what we can do is we can create vectors in Matlab, and that's most of what we're going to be doing in this class. So, and arrays are the same thing as vectors for us. An array is, if you know other languages, you know that an array is like a set of data types. It does all the. Matlab doesn't care. It doesn't care. So what you do is we're going to create one array right now called V. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. That gives you a row array, a row vector, right? How you create a row vector is you leave spaces. Every time you leave a space, it'll give you a new number or a new value. Another way to do it is you can go 1, 2, 3. It's the same thing. Yeah? If you want to create a column vector, 1, semicolon, 2, semicolon, 3. That gives you a column. Good so far? And all the matrix multiplication rules apply. Like you need the column of the first and the row of the second to match up or something like that.
Yeah.
And right.
If you do dot.
Yeah, and you can do dot product, stuff like that. So you can use commas, you can use spaces. If this is the weird one. So you can, all these are, here, let me do who's really quick. They're all listed as doubles, right? Okay, so even if you have an array of ints, it's still going to be listed as doubles. This doesn't affect you really in terms of like doing actual math with it. It's just for computer science nerds like me, where it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting. It stores everything as a double. So it actually takes up more space than Python and like C and stuff, where you can have an array of ints. This actually takes more space. I doubt you're going to be like creating stuff that big that you're gonna have to deal with space issues. If you are, come talk to me. I'll help you out. But if you are, you shouldn't be in this class. You're way more advanced than this. So that's how it works. What we can do also is length. You remember I said don't use length as one of the variable names? That's because you can do length of things, and it just returns you the length. Okay. You can also get elements out of an array. So if I scroll back up a little bit, V had 1, 2, and 3. All right, let's create something a little more. Let's do something like that. So let's say I want the third element. If I do V of 3, it gives you the third element. People who know other languages, you're probably going to be like, why isn't it V of 2? It starts at 0. Nope. MATLAB starts at 1. That'll throw everyone off. MATLAB starts at 1. MATLAB starts at 1. Don't forget that, okay? It goes from 1 to whatever the length is. It's really weird. So if you want to get the last element, you put the length of the array. So this one is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's V of 6. I don't know, it's painful to look at, but you can also do that, which I don't know why you would do that, but that gives you the array back. And that just yells at you. So there you go. MATLAB starts at 1. Don't forget. Vertical. You can also, I gotcha. You can do this. You also don't need spaces there. You can put spaces there if you want, but I'll say like, do you see how one of those was well actually I guess 2 of those. Let me try it again. Let me get rid of 3/4. Do you see how one of those was a floating point, so it displays everything as a floating point? Yeah. So pi is a floating point number because it's irrational. So then automatically displays all these ints as floating points. If I go back and get rid of pi, it goes back to normal. Yeah. That's a little annoying if you want to, like, you have, like, just all these ints and you have one thing in your format long and you just see crap ton of zeros. Like, but yeah, it's just small things. Length also works for vertical arrays. What's that called? The rank? It's the rank of an array, right? Yeah, there you go. Math major's gonna have to help me out. What else? You can also do transpose. That's what it's called, right? I should know this. I have a test coming up next week on this. You do that. That'll just transpose it for you. Or you could say V equals V prime. And it'll store it as a transpose. So now V is the transpose of that. Can you do that? Well, this is easier.
You just do that.
Yeah. That's actually good to know, though. Transpose, I think everyone knows how that works. You can also, if it is vertical, the same conventions apply. Does that make sense? So it goes, this is still 1, this is still 2, this is still 3. So anything you do horizontal, you can also do vertical. If you want to put an element into the array, you can do things like that. It just replaces it. It replaces it, it doesn't move it. Some languages move the array and put it in. This doesn't do that. This just replaces it. So watch out. And yeah, MATLAB arrays start with 1, not 0. I have that written out so many times. If you're trying to get 2 return values from something, like I'll teach you how to make a matrix. It's pretty simple. Yeah. So this is your. Here's some space. This is your first row vector. Column. Row vector, and then row vector. So you're just stacking 3 row vectors on top of each other. Good with everybody? And so you can play with that however you want. If you want to call something, you want to find that one, you just go 1, 2. It's like same matrix naming conventions, all that kind of stuff. Just you can navigate the matrix like how you would any other matrix. Okay. If you want to get the size of that, so there's a size function in MATLAB. He says it gives you 2, and if I do whose, you see how answer is a double, and it's 16. Then also this is, I don't know how much programming background, you guys know, but this is the size of these things. Usually, most of these are 8. That's just weird. 60 means that there's 2 things in it. Okay. 96 means there's a ton of stuff in it. So that you can kind of tell how big stuff is that way. If you look at that, answer has 2 things in it. So answer is actually a vector, right? Let's say you want to store those as 2 different variables. So you don't want to just store it as a. You don't want to make. So what I could do is like if I do x equals size of a. Now x is this row array, right? And if you want to get the number of rows, you can go x of 1. But instead of doing that, let's say you wanted to do something like you wanted to have a variable called row, variable called column, and you wanted to store those at the same time. You can do what was this called? A row, a column equals size of a. Good with everybody? So now a row is that, and a column is that, and it's 2 separate things. This is helpful when you get further down the line. You write functions that have 4 or 5 different parameters that it's returning, all that kind of stuff. Just go ahead and create a row vector and just name it all the variables that you want, and just go ahead and set it equal to something, and it will assign it as you go. Be careful though, because it will give you an error if one of those is missing. All right. Is everyone good so far?
So do a size a comma 1. So let's
Yeah.
say you don't really care about the column
Yeah.
or the row.
Yeah, we can do that. Like that. This is what you're doing here is you're actually calling this size array. I don't know if does anyone know any functional programming? What you're doing here, this is a curried function. You might have heard that term. What you're doing here is you're actually taking the size of a and you're taking the first element from it. So that's like assigning size of a to we did work that. We did x of 1. We did x equal to these 2 and you found the first value of that. You're just doing that in one function where you're size of a and then give you the first value of that, which is the rows. If I do 2, it'll give you the columns. That makes sense? Now we can go into how to make different types of vectors. So one way is, I said you can go ahead and type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What if you wanted to make the first 100 elements? You probably don't want to type that unless you're a little bit crazy. What you could do is you could do 1, the colon, 100. I'm not going to print it, but I'll prove to you that it's there because it's 800 large and it's 1 by 100. So it has the first 100 elements of what's the alphabet? No, what's the other one? The number system? All right. Oh. It's got the first 100 numbers. Yeah, so the square brackets are to indicate vectors. Do you not need square brackets? I think you do, don't you?
Yeah, you do. You have to do square.
Never
I
mind.
guess you don't.
Also, this is why I didn't print it, is because it just throws stuff at you. No, you don't need square. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that. I've been taught to do it with square brackets. So you also see like conventions that I do that you don't need to do. That's just how I was taught. So it also carries over from other languages, and everyone codes differently, so you'll figure that out. So right now we understand how to make the first 100. Let's say you wanted to go from 2 through 6. There we go. Yeah. Let's say you wanted to go through from 2 to 6, but you want to have an interval of like 0.5. What you can do so I split that up into start, end, and in the middle is your interval. Be careful, Python does interval at the end, this one does interval in the middle. Yeah. So it does like that. And you see how now it displays everything with a floating point because one of these is a floating point, or a few of these are floating points, so all of it displays floating points. Yeah? Question?
So for example, can you make this into a matrix of some different shape, like 2 by 5?
2 by 5. Can you? I don't think so.
Using the colors.
This type of
Or you could do this. If you want a 2 by 5 matrix, give me some values. What do you want? What do you want this way, and what do you want this way?
maybe just 1 to 10.
1 to 10. So you want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, something.
Or can we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Like
Wait,
that?
what I would do is
Yeah, so what I would do is I would do 1 through 5, 6 through 10, and then throw a transpose. Or your other option is if you want to have it like that, then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
You just do odds and even.
Yeah, you could do something like that too. But does that kind of make sense? Yeah, what's up?
I thought before, the way it was before, the 1 through 5 should have gone across.
Yeah, but you see that little transpose I threw right there?
No.
Do you see? Sorry, yeah, it's a little small, a little hard to see. Let me get rid of that. You're right. This is how it works. I just transposed it because he wanted it vertically. You can do this through a lot of stuff. The colon operator shows up a lot. So let me go ahead and retranspose this. Okay. Let's say you wanted the first column. You wanted everything in the first column. You can just call A of, is that first row or first column? That's row, how do you do it? All the rows on column 1. There you go. I always mix up which one is which rows, columns. But do you see how what I'm saying here is go to this vector or this matrix A. Go to the well, this is the rows. I'm saying give me all the rows and give me the first column. Yeah. You can also do stuff like. Can you not do that? There you go. Missed something. Here I'm saying go to A. Give me 2 through 3. 2 through 3 is a bad example. It's just 2 things. Let me go ahead. Yeah. So give me rows 1 through 4 on the first column. Yeah. That's how you grab stuff. When you have huge matrices, you just figure out. You know, in Excel, you can go to like a certain set of cells and like grab those. This is the same way you do it. You can also do stuff like this doesn't help for this one, but that where you can do it in columns too and that kind of stuff. So basically, what you're doing here is this creates a vector. And so this is a vector of 1, 2, 3, 4. And it goes, okay, well, let's give me all the first, give me all the second, give me all the third, give me all the fourth. So it loops through that. And then it loops through the first one and the second one. We'll get to loops later, but that's kind of what it's doing. Any questions about that? Anything you want to try? Go and try stuff by yourself. Don't feel limited to just what I'm saying. Let me pull this up. So yeah, it goes start, increment, stop. That's the general format. So you go start, and I think you can. This is probably going to yell at me, but let's try like. Just kidding, it didn't yell at me. There you go. So I said, give me first, skip every second one to the fourth one. So give me the first and third one. Good? Does that make sense? So that's like if you really want to grab some weird sets of data and all that kind of stuff. This is definitely going to yell at me. Yep, that's what I thought.
What did you do before? 1, 2, 3, 4?
Yeah, so if I normally did, gives you that. Because it starts at 1, it goes, all right, well, I'm going to jump up 2, and I'm going to be at 3. If I jump up 2 more, I'll be at 5, so I'll just stop here. Step function. So it goes unit 1 to 3, and then it stops there because otherwise it goes to 5. It doesn't give you the 4th. Be careful with that. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
forgot the steps.
No, you're good. But yeah, just make sure the steps don't end at the end value. They just end wherever it seems logical. So be careful. So that's one way that you can really traverse matrices and do stuff like that. Another way to create an array is called linspace. Okay, linspace works in the opposite form. I mean, do you see how it says up there right now when I left it up there? Because I turned on the help function. So it says you can put in an x1 and x2, or you can do x1, x2, and n. So how that works is, let's say we want to do the first one. Let's say I want to start at 1. I want to end at 100, and I want it to fit into 30 cells. I want the array to be 30.
Evenly spaced.
Yeah, 30 evenly spaced cells, basically, or 30 evenly spaced. I want the size of the array to be 30, and I want it to be evenly spaced, and I want it to go from 1 to 100.
Okay.
So what it does is it goes through and takes 1 and 100, divides it by 30, and then puts it in all of them. And it divides it. It's really nasty, but this shows up. This does show up.
You could do it n is equal to 10.
Yeah, if I did that, it would be even.
Or,
Because what's it doing that for?
yeah.
Oh, you know why? Because it started at 1.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Let's try this. Mm. Mm.
Does the third one also start at 0? So 0, 109 maybe?
Oh, you know what? No.
0, 109.
All right. Well, if you want to go from 0 to 100 with 10 spaces, it doesn't work. Just forget about it. Give up. What if I did 101? No, because that wouldn't work. Shoot, that was way off. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 9, yeah. No. Because, see, the 9 specifies the amount of cells. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you want it in 10 different cells, you need to put 10. Actually, this is a good problem. So I want to try to figure out how to go from 0. Give me 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
11.
11. I think that's it. 0 counts as 1. There you go. There you go. I haven't seen it. Because I didn't count 0. Because it's 0 and 100 inclusive. That's also important. 0 and 100 inclusive there. Watch out for that. That's kind of cool though, right? That's a really, really fun function. Because if you want to, I don't know, if you just want to distribute stuff into like really even integers, or it won't be even, but if you, into even spaces, that's really helpful. It's really helpful when you plot stuff. If you want to have a plot of like 50 different data points, just use linspace. I think that stands for linear space. And
There's also log space.
there's also log space, right? Yeah. Let me see. There you go. So I'm doing. You do pi. I have to try that out in a second. I've never tried this out, but linspace gives you a linear vector. Log space is going to do logarithmically. So give me 1 to 100. And, oh, and if you leave that other thing blank, if you leave this thing blank, it just creates one with 100. It creates a vector with a length of 100. So actually, if I just did. There you go. Yeah. And so it just creates 100 with values 1 through 100. This doesn't help because it's on format short. So you actually can't tell what that is, but what is it doing this for? Alright, so what this says is take these numbers and multiply it by 1 times 10 to the 100, and that's your answer. It's not right. Because
That's just one.
You showed you how to use the log.
Do log space 1 to 1,000.
so it's giving you infinity.
Yeah, you format long.
That's not what I want to do.
Alright, don't use log space.
Yeah, I mean,
What is? So this is what it's supposed to do is give you logarithmically between 1 and 100 with that many things, but I guess it decided not to.
It kinda does.
Actually, I want to try this thing. You see that says pi down there? I'm gonna go and put in pi. Jesus, what is this? What is this doing?
You're just doing log.
You need like a base 10 log to the last number.
You need 3 arguments.
That last one is pi, right? And it starts at 10. Which, oh, is 1 equal to 10 to that? That might be it. Oh, I think we figured it out. Okay, okay. Did they change log space? Matlab also does this where they change functions. Watch out. Like, they've changed linspace like twice now. It used to be the same format as the colon. They changed it back now. They changed it back now. They've changed it 3 times now. So watch out. I think what it is if I do 1, 2, that's gonna go from 10 to the first to 10 to the second. With let's say like. There you go. That looks reasonable, right? Yeah. Here you go. 10 to the 2. So it's going from 10 to the 1 to 10 to the 2. So it's going from 10 to 100, and this is 10 evenly spaced cells. So that's what log space does. So when I was putting in 100, it was going 10 to the 100th. That's why it was ridiculous. So does everyone get log space now? Log space goes, your first value is 10 to the what, second value is 10 to the what, and then third value is your increment. I wonder if there's a log space with different.
What's your increment? I guess you have floating points.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. Yeah, so I think.
I was in the format short and not long. That just gave me the number. Like it says 10, 12.91, 15.68.
There you go. Oh, you know why? Because here, you see it gives you that's to increase the decimal precision. Because here it can only display so much. There you go to 50 decimal places. Don't know why you would want that, but there you go. It also stores those in that answers thing, like I told you before. And so you can call this, and this is an exact number. This is more exact than this. This is like however many decimal places. This goes to like, I think, 40 something decimal places, 50 something decimal places. Matlab also changes precision. Matlab is finicky. Matlab is a really finicky company.
Right, so the answer is more accurate right now than the.
So it displays, what is that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 20.
But does it not round up or down?
No, it truncates at that 20th value or whatever.
Well, that doesn't necessarily make it more accurate then.
No, did it?
If after the 0 right now is a 7, then that definitely doesn't make it more accurate then. Because if it just cuts off after the 0,
You mean right here?
Right, if the number would continue with the 7.
It doesn't make it more accurate.
Right,
Right, so what it's doing here is it goes 4 places over and just truncates.
right.
Rounding, you have to call the round function. I don't think it.
For example, look at the 5. It's 2, 7, 8, 2, 5,
It will
5,
give you the
9.
accurate answer.
What it
Right.
shows up is 2, 5, 6.
Right, so with the calculation.
It used to truncate.
And you update it.
It used to truncate. Check what version of MATLAB. This is MATLAB 2015. Huh? So I'm running MATLAB 2015. You guys might be running 2016.
2016.
Right, so I'm on 2015B. So there's going to be some changes too. Like I guarantee you by the time we finish this course, you will be able to run something that I can. I'll be able to run something that you can't. Guarantee it. So it should truncate. MATLAB should not be rounding. But anyways, this value right here, rounded or truncated, it doesn't matter. This has like 20 decimal places of accuracy. That one will go to like 40 or 50 or whatever it's limited by your system. So if you have a 64-bit system like mine, it'll go to like however many. If you have something for like the 2000s, it'll go to like way less than that. Same thing. Everyone good so far? I think now is a good time to stop, and I'll stop for questions. And I think we'll do more vector operations next time. That sound good? I think next time we'll deal with adding, subtracting vectors, multiplication of vectors, and then we'll deal with like way more stuff like that. So far, we think we got the basics down. We went over data types, we went over variables, we went over how to assign stuff, who's, clear, CLC, formats, FRNF, display, a few stuff. Anything else? Yeah, I think that's what we went over. Okay. So I'll be here for maybe like 15 minutes after the lesson ends. Feel free to talk to me about anything. I know a few other languages, so if you want to catch up. I also teach the Java course on Mondays, so if you want to catch up on that, just feel free to come up and I'll give you a rundown. Rounds?
Yeah.
Well.
19999.
Did you use to round before? I don't think so.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't. It's so precise.
Yeah, it doesn't
It's
matter,
honestly
but
just formatting.
yeah.
You can make it even longer if you wanted to.
If you really don't want it to round, just do FRNF and go to like
So why
10
don't
decimal
they
places.
do
Probably a
Like,
function
always all
to
gonna
make
be
it truncate over rounding.
Yeah, most languages
C
truncate. It's
programs,
easier.
it's not switching.
Way more. MATLAB's also really finicky.
Where does it belong?
What program are you
College
using?
technical.
For Eclipse,
It's
that's the idea I'm
it's
using.
just a runner.
It's this is okay.
With Mac, yeah, it's right here.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's this one right here.
You've been on the website, right?
Well, I
Eclipse,
saw it on the
it's
events.
you need
page.
to download the Java
website.
whatever ID or whatever.
Oh, you have
but
that. What else
after that,
do you
you'll be good.
besides Java and
I hate Eclipse.
Java.
Eclipse is really good. It autofills everything.
Yeah,
it's
to
all on
run
the
stuff
calendar,
sucks.
but
That's true.
Monday and Thursday.
Would you all use
Or Monday.
What do you use, Python?
No, well,
Okay,
It's either
I would
Monday,
download
Wednesday.
Python.
Right, but it doesn't have like a good
Yeah,
developer.
So
thank you
I would
much.
say
This is pretty cool.
I use
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Jew.
and I
That's
do
it.
That's it.
I just got out Python.
So,
I
I don't trust any of those like. Dude, what I do is I write on slides.
Alright, how are you doing?
You have notepads for us, right?
You are part of this organization.
Yeah.
You're following
Is it
And then
is it Windows?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so it should have notepad for
You look like an organizer.
What level do you?
Oh,
So you are like directing
So,
everything.
like,
Sitting
oh,
here.
no,
So I'm from
computers.
so we're not like a semester.
So I can go to.
Matlab.
How long have you been doing this?
Pause you for 1 second.
Um,
So I can go to terminal and I can go
so I was,
like
taking it last semester, but
think
I
we'll
had,
go
like, activities, whatever they had,
I'm
like,
just
all the
curious.
meetings, and I like wasn't in it. I think it was new last semester, right?
You guys are pretty new.
Yeah, we started last semester.
Okay.
We'll, keep on coming.
so this is like I just navigated through my tree, my documents, and I'm like
So,
running
some
a Python code.
like, format print, like,
And this is like something that I wrote for class or whatever, and it like
attach, like,
creates the US flag. But
directly into
this
your
is
variable
running off of
that you're trying to format.
the Python.
Or there's like the option
This is the
for
graph, which comes in with the Python package,
the
or this is the GUI for Python.
I have not, but
percent.
Python also gives you an
Okay.
IDE.
Python.
It's called idle.
Right, yeah, I have that on there, but
Trash.
right.
Well, like,
how
is
do you
there like a
do
different way to
You have
format
any
like
commits
the
or
variables directly instead of
something? Just that good?
because this
If
yeah,
there is,
I
I
mean you
can
can do like
Tell me use
format
Python.
like on the
Like,
outside and then like
Your life
do
would be
your
so much better with
variable and then like right next to it do like what you want.
I taught that class and I hated
and then
everything.
like plus
So what are you
instead of
teaching
doing,
this
like,
for? Like at the like
percent
later?
has to
So
be
I think
percent, like,
what we'll do is we'll be dealing with a lot of like basics first and like I mean we have to do still more vector operations and then loops and if statements and that kind of stuff like basics. Then we can get in more application stuff. Like we can do like
I mean, after doing the vector, after doing arrays and stuff, we can do a little application of matrices.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Yeah.
what kind
Yeah.
of
solving
So
linear
we're doing, like, the
linear
percentage
systems,
with
solving
it,
linear
like, right
equations,
now.
Solving
So I
nonlinear
was wondering if there
equation
was, like, a-
systems.
yeah,
some regression
regression stuff like that. Or you could do like Gaussian elimination, finding roots, finding just stuff that like when
You
you
know, I'm just curious because like I want to see because so I'm a chemistry major.
Yeah.
So our computing course was just Matlab. So
you're,
Yeah.
you took 210.
yeah.
Yeah. Have you taken numerical yet?
What?
Have you taken numerical?
No.
Come after like week 6.
Okay.
I'm teaching off the 210. We're both chemists.
Okay.
I'm teaching off the 210 framework, and then I'm gonna switch to numerical.
Okay. So week 6. Alright. Cool.
We're week 6, yeah, maybe.
So late March. Alright. Alright. I'll go back then. Alright.
Jake Sweeney.
I have
What?
to go.
Jake Sweeney.
Doing Java.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Like,
Jake Sweeney.
I already have clips.
Clips
It's
downloaded?
fine.
Okay.
Like there's
There's no recording right now.
there's no opinion of him. He's just like okay he's fine.
Yeah, it's just like
But we
gives you
also
the
want
stuff,
to
you just read it, you just do it.
Yeah. At the end, you don't complain much. You don't have much to say about him.
Yeah.
PDF for 317.
What?
PDF for 317.
317. Oh, Edison.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That actually sucks.
Really?
I heard he's a very hard teacher.
Here's the thing. He gives you a lot of problem, but he does a very good job teaching. Like you completely get everything. It's just a problem. Sometimes feels like why does this take forever?
I mean,
Yeah. So like so right now it's Edison and Albert, and what I heard from Albert is that he doesn't give out as much homework, but he doesn't teach as well. So
they're both better than the teachers who taught for our year. I had Maynard, he had Freeman, they're better.
He has Edison for 317.
I kind of, I mean, I've heard that Edison 317 is very hard.
yeah, he gave us a lot of homework, but he does a good job teaching.
Give to my Inspire calculator.
Oh, I had a so I